release. So Apple just released iOS 10.2 Developer Beta 1, meaning not everybody's going to get this, only if you're a developer. But this update is fantastic. Out of nowhere, Apple came and delivered an update with actual new features. So in this video, I'm going to show you 15 new features and changes that Apple included in this latest update. So if you guys do want to install this, a public beta should be along very soon. Right now, only registered developers can install it. It's a pretty massive update, and there are a lot of changes. Something very, very big, emojis, wallpapers, that I'm very excited about. So first thing is, let's take a look at the wallpapers. So if you have an iPhone 7, 7 Plus, you're going to be getting the new wallpapers from the event. So if I jump into here, notice you'll get 3 new wallpapers right here. Now these aren't just device specific, these are all found in the new beta, but you're going to be getting this one, this pinkish one, and this orangish amber one right here. Kind of cool. It would be great if it had an OLED panel, as it would show the black much better, but 3 new wallpapers are very welcome. An unbelievable amount of new emojis. If you jump into the emoji section, guys, there are so many new emojis, and a lot of the old ones have been redesigned to, a crazy amount of detail. So between iOS 9 and iOS 10, we noticed there was a little difference in the emojis. They were a little bit more crisp, more contrast, more shadow. This is so much better than that. In every way, detail-wise, the emojis are better. So I'm going to show you a few little examples right here. On the left, I'm going to have my iOS 10.1.1 device. And basically the reason we're getting this is with Unicode 9.0 support. So officially it's now supported on iOS 10.2. So look at these eyeballs right here. The amount of details, they're more lifelike, and this reflects on all of the emojis, almost all of them anyways. You're going to be noticing a huge difference in detail. So I'm going to jump into the animal section right here. So just take a look at the frog right here. It looks much more lifelike than over here. All of the monkeys have more detail to them, and the snake, it looks almost cartoonish on the left. Now it's very lifelike, very realistic, yet still maintaining some of its cartoon aspect. So I actually went into notes and I made a list of all of the new emojis, and I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can get some details. So a lot of these you'll see they're the old ones, they've just been redesigned, and I had them side by side with 10.1.1, so any difference I did notice. And some of the more notable ones would be the new retro Atari little guy right there, the clown, cowboy. There's some new gestures, arm holding a cell phone. There was even a pregnant lady right here. I thought that was kind of funny. So pretty much anything you can think of, an emoji exists for it now. So there is a Santa's wife right there, some guy on a laptop, girl on a laptop. The moons are super detailed and realistic now. The food makes me hungry. All that crisp detail there now. I love it. So the cars, very cartoonish still, but more detailed to them. A lot of the travel, they removed the borders to them, like the buildings used to have borders around them, the mountains. Now they just exist on their own, which is kind of cool. All the money has a lot more detail to it. So guys, it is fantastic. It looks great. I'm not that big on emojis. I've just been getting into them, believe it or not, in the last few months. I used to never use emojis, so it's nice. It's beautiful when Apple pays attention to little details like this. And honestly, Apple has always been caring so much about emojis, and this is just reflecting that even more. But new emojis and a completely redesigned emoji set for all the old ones. Beautiful. And interestingly enough, on the new emojis, the LGBT flag has a glitch. It cannot be clicked. If you do click it, it sends your phone into this weird glitch state, and you cannot see the emoji. No matter where you are, if you click on that flag, it will not display anywhere. Now, if you guys ever get annoyed of using the camera and leaving, and where you were last in the camera, it defaults back to the original settings. So you always have to go and go to wherever you wanted it to be, where you left it off. Now, Apple has a new feature in the photos and camera settings that allow you to keep the old settings. So it's called Preserve Settings right here, and the camera mode, depending on which one you had it in, video or square, it'll stay there. Same goes for the filter and even the live photos as well. So that's great. You can keep your settings as they were. In the widgets view, if you guys do go ahead and select edit, there is now a new widget for videos. So if you guys have any videos preloaded, you'll see a little preview of them over here in the widgets view now on the new video widget. There's some new home button settings in accessibility. So if I jump into here and go into the home button, now you can go ahead and select press and hold to speak. So if I turn this off and I hold Siri, she'll no longer be activated via this setting. The only way would be with the Hey Siri command. Same goes for voice control. So if you guys want Hey Siri enabled and voice control at the same time, you can do this. So pressing the home button will enable voice control, and doing the Hey Siri voice command will enable Siri. So nice little change there. Or you can completely disable it to have nothing going on with your home button when you press it. So nice little accessibility setting there. Now I'm going to go ahead and set the same wallpaper on both devices. So on the right over here is a 10.2. So there is a new transparency in 3D touch. When I go ahead and 3D touch on them, take a look at that. On the right you can see definitely more of the background through the prompt and through all the logos over here, and the text itself is affected. So let's try something like the health app right here. Notice how the text is a little bit muddled by the color in the background. Not sure I like that, but iOS 10.2 certainly lets more transparency through in 3D touch prompts. A new celebration effect in messages. So this is going to be one of many. In the future I can see Apple adding definitely many more, but very nice to see a new effect right here. In the music settings, the ability to show star ratings on music is back. So instead of the bar layout right now, you can enable the old star rating. A lot of people did complain about this, so that's why Apple brought that back. So if you guys managed to snag some new Beats Solo 3 headphones, when you would connect them to your device, you get this icon right here to let you know that the headphones are connected. That icon has been updated in 10.2, so they now look like this. You'll get a little icon for the battery meter right next to them, and I guess this does apply to all Bluetooth speakers, not just the new Beats ones. A very subtle one, but when setting up news, you now have to select 3 news sources before being able to continue. Previously, you could just on one. And when viewing your news articles in news, on the bottom right, you'll now get an option for next up stories. So if I go ahead and click on there, it'll go ahead and take me to the next up in top stories. Now, if you guys have the new Apple Watch, you know the new SOS emergency feature. Well, now in the health settings, there is a new option to go ahead and send your location to all of your emergency contacts whenever you use that SOS feature. If you go into the music settings, and by the way, I'm not signed into Apple Music on either one, you'll notice that there is no longer an option to sort songs and albums by, whatever category you choose. So this may be because I'm not logged into Apple Music, but that setting is no longer available in 10.2. So you guys know round folders, right? It was updated slightly to still work on iOS 10 to a 5x7 pattern, and it did until 10.2. So you can no longer view round folders on the latest firmware, unfortunately. So they just do not work any longer. That's sad to see them go, but it's been patched. Now in the notification settings, if we jump into here, on certain apps you'll get a new option, let's say messages, to be able to show previews when unlocked. So instead of always, you can now choose just when you unlock your device on the lock screen, so that way any prying eyes won't be able to see until you're there to go ahead and unlock the phone. You do not get that option on an older iOS 10 firmware. And just 2 other things I wanted to mention. First off, my bypass, does it work on this latest version? Unfortunately, yes, it does. So that has not been patched. Also, is iOS 10.2 any faster? So I'm going to run a Geekbench on both very quickly here. 10.1.1 on the left, on the right 10.2. So a little bit worse in both scores. So yeah. I don't feel it that way. It definitely feels faster, but officially Geekbench is saying it is. Also about the triple click, let's go ahead and turn on the accessibility shortcut very quickly here. So we don't even have to enable it, but if you do have that check marked, app switcher, yeah, still slow definitely. So if I jump into settings and out, it is much slower. So that bug or whatever it is still existing. And there it is, guys, iOS 10.2, a bunch of new features, new emojis. That's the biggest and best thing about this update. New wallpapers and a bunch of other smaller updates. So guys, I love it. Let me know what you guys think about this update. I'll be keeping you guys updated on it if there's any new features in later betas, but that's fantastic. I love it, guys. Great job, Apple. For 10.3, please throw in a night mode. Man, more than anything, that's just what I want to match my black iPhone 7 Plus.